Welcome to Sacred Stillness, a quiet corner of the world where weary hearts are seen and even the softest cries are heard. Here, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to hold it all together. You don't have to apologize for needing grace. Because tonight, we're not pretending to be okay. This prayer is for the ones who feel like a burden, for the ones who shrink themselves to stay loved, for the souls who hesitate before asking for help because they're scared they've already asked too much. If you've ever felt like you take up too much space, if you've ever wondered whether your pain is an inconvenience, if you're exhausted from being low maintenance just to be accepted, this is for you. 100 prayers whispered from the ache of needing to be held, without guilt, without shame, without apology. So, take a deep breath, let go of the weight. You are not too much. You are not a burden. You are beloved exactly as you are. Let's begin. Prayer 1. God, I'm here again. Not with praise, not with strength, but with trembling hands and a heart too heavy to hold. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I need you again, that I didn't get better, didn't get stronger, didn't become the version of myself I keep promising you is on the way. I thought I could fix it, thought I could carry it on my own, thought if I kept quiet long enough, the pain would leave me alone. But it hasn't. It lingers. It whispers in my mind that I should be ashamed of how much I still need. It tells me you must be tired of hearing me say the same things, over and over, like a broken record of weakness and need. I imagine you looking away, not because you're cruel, but because I'm exhausting, because I'm that person, the one who always needs help, the one who never seems to heal fast enough. But even as those thoughts swirl, something deeper pulls me back to you, something soft, something sacred, like a whisper in the dark saying, I still want you, even broken, even now. So here I am. I'm not better, but I'm still yours. And I'm still hoping that maybe, even in my mess, even in my exhaustion, you're still listening, still loving, still holding space for the soul that always comes back empty-handed. Prayer 2. I try so hard not to need anyone. I swallow my pain before it spills out. I hold back the tears until they rot inside. I smile so no one asks questions, because deep down, I believe that needing help makes me weak. That if I speak up too often, people will walk away. That if I showed too much pain, even you might say, "This again?" I've built a version of myself that pretends to be independent, pretends to be fine, pretends to be the one who always helps but never asks. Because I've seen what happens to the ones who are too open. They get called dramatic, clingy, too much. So I learned to be small, to stay quiet, to only bleed when no one's looking. But God, the weight is too much now, and I'm tired, so tired of pretending to be unbreakable. Please don't turn away if I shatter in front of you. Please don't grow weary of holding me up. Please just be the one place I don't have to perform strength, because I don't have it today, and I'm scared that if I don't have it, no one will stay. Prayer 3. I hate that I feel like a burden, not just to others, but even to you. Even here, in this quiet prayer, I catch myself apologizing for needing too much, for coming back again, for being that soul who can never seem to stay okay. It's like every time I try to rest in your love, shame creeps in and whispers, "You're asking for too much. You've already used up your grace. You should be over this by now." And I believe it. I believe that even you must be exhausted by me. Because if people get tired of me, why wouldn't you? But maybe you don't measure me the way the world does. Maybe you don't love me for my stability. Maybe you love me even in the unraveling, in the fragile, in the falling apart. Maybe you hold the parts I hate with tenderness I've never known. Maybe I'm not a burden to you. Maybe I'm the reason you stay close. So I'm letting go of the fear, just for this moment, and I'm whispering what I'm most afraid to say. I need you. Again. Still. Always. Prayer 4. I don't want to be the one who always needs. I want to be the strong one, the helper, the steady friend, the reliable one. But the truth is, I'm tired, and I don't have enough for anyone else right now. I barely have enough for myself. And I hate that. I hate how selfish I feel. I hate how small my world gets when I'm in pain. I hate how I pull away from others, not because I don't care, but because I feel like I have nothing to give. I wonder if you feel the same, if you look at me and wish I'd be easier, less needy, more thankful, more stable. I wonder if you ever wish I'd stop crying, stop returning, stop needing you so deeply. But then I remember, you came for the weary, not the impressive. You came for the crushed, not the polished. You came for those who had nothing left. And God, that's me right now. I have nothing to offer, but this aching soul, still trying to believe you'll take me as I am. Prayer 5. I wonder if you're tired of me yet, tired of my repeated struggles, my constant fears, my circling doubts. I wonder if you keep count of how many times I've said, I'm sorry, I'm scared, I'm tired, I need you. Because I do. I need you. But I hate needing you because it makes me feel weak, and weak feels like failure. But maybe you're not counting. Maybe you're not keeping score. Maybe you're not holding a clipboard of all my returns. Maybe you're just glad I came back. So I'm here again, bringing the same heaviness, the same sorrow, the same ache, but also bringing a tiny thread of hope that you still want me, still welcome me, still see me, and that maybe, even with nothing new to say, you're still listening, still loving, still here. Prayer 6. God, I say sorry before I even speak, before I even ask, before I even cry. As if my voice is an intrusion, as if my pain has to be justified before it's allowed to be heard. I've learned to shrink, to soften every word, to wrap my requests in apology, because I'm terrified of being seen as too much. Even with you, I hesitate. Even with you, I wonder if I'm allowed to be this loud in my need, this open in my ache. I treat prayer like negotiation, trying to make my pain smaller, trying to make my need prettier so you'll still want to listen. But what if I didn't have to do that? What if I could bring the raw version of myself, unedited, unfiltered, still bleeding, and you'd still love me? Maybe you don't need me to perform grace. Maybe you just want my heart, messy as it is. So today, I'll try to come as I am, without the sorry at the front, without the fear of being too much, just a soul asking to be heard. Prayer 7. I shrink myself so no one leaves. I dim my needs so they don't feel inconvenient. I rewrite my truth to make it easier to receive. Because somewhere along the way, I learned that the world rewards the quiet, the simple, the self-sufficient. and punishes the honest, the emotional, the open. So I've built my life around managing how I'm perceived. I've become an expert in damage control, in smiling through ache, in being the kind of person who's easy to be around. But it's killing me. Slowly, quietly, I'm vanishing to keep the peace. I'm disappearing so I won't be too heavy. And now, even in prayer, I hold back. I filter. I edit. I try not to make you uncomfortable. But God, I'm tired of hiding. Please remind me that I don't have to be palatable to be loved. Not with you. Not here. Not now. Prayer 8. Sometimes I feel like I'm only lovable when I'm easy, when I'm helpful, when I'm cheerful, when I'm not asking for anything. So when I struggle, I panic because I think I've lost the thing that made me worthy. I fear that without the smile, without the strength, without the lightness I bring to others, I'm nothing but a burden, a weight, a reason to walk away. And that fear has followed me into every relationship, even into this one. With you, I keep wondering, do you still want me when I'm not okay? When I'm messy? When I bring nothing to the table but tiredness? But deep down, I want to believe you love me without performance, that I don't have to earn your nearness, that I can be sad and still seen, broken and still beautiful, not okay and still yours. Prayer 9. I've gotten so good at minimizing my pain, at laughing it off, at changing the subject, at telling people, I'm just tired, or it's nothing serious, when really, it feels like the ground is cracking beneath me. I think I do it because I'm afraid of being too much, too messy, too complicated, too heavy. I've been told before, you're always going through something. And it hurt. It taught me to zip my soul shut, to keep my ache private, even when it screamed for help. But I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to edit my existence down to what others can handle. I want to be whole. And sometimes wholeness is loud. It's tender. It's crying in the arms of love. And God, if you are love, then please let me show up fully without needing to be less. Prayer 10. Even now, even here, in this sacred moment of prayer, I feel like I have to apologize. I'm sorry for the weight of my words, for the repetition of my ache, for the way my needs always seem to return. I'm sorry that I don't come with praise today, that I don't come full of gratitude, that I'm not standing tall in faith. But the truth is, I'm tired, I'm confused, I'm scared, and this is all I have to bring you. So I'm offering it, even if it feels like too much, even if I want to take it back the moment I speak it, even if I don't know if I'm allowed to be this honest, because I need a place where I don't have to apologize for being human. I need someone who doesn't flinch at the sound of my ache. I need a God who stays, even when I'm difficult, even when I bring nothing, even when I don't say thank you fast enough. And I hope, with everything in me, that you are that God.
Prayer 11. God, I don't know how to need without feeling guilty. Even when I ask for help, it comes with a tightness in my chest, a voice in my mind telling me I shouldn't, that I'm asking for too much, that I should already know how to handle this by now. I look around and see people smiling, thriving, functioning, and I wonder why I can't just be like them, why everything feels so heavy for me, why even the simple things feel like mountains to climb. And when I pray, that guilt follows me here too, like a shadow that whispers, "You shouldn't be talking to God again about this. He's already heard this from you. You should be better by now." But deep down, there's another voice, softer, gentler, not guilt, but grace. And it reminds me, you never asked me to be perfect. You never told me to earn your love. You never said my needs disqualify me from your embrace. So even though the guilt still lingers, I'm choosing to bring it here, to lay it down in front of you. Not because I've figured it out, but because I haven't. And maybe that's what makes me worthy of grace after all. Prayer 12. Every time I pray, I feel like I'm adding weight to your hands, like my problems are sandbags and I'm piling them onto your back, one by one, week after week, always needing, always asking. And then shame creeps in, telling me, you must be tired of me, that maybe you want someone who brings you joy, not someone who brings you the same tired sadness over and over again. So I start to hold back. I don't ask for as much. I edit my prayers down to the basics, hoping you'll find me easier to love if I come with fewer requests, fewer emotions, fewer breakdowns. But God, I don't think that's love, and I don't think that's how you see me. Because if you are truly love, then maybe you don't measure me by what I bring, but by the fact that I come at all. So here I am again, bringing the same old needs, the same tired voice, and hoping you're still the same God who doesn't grow weary of my return. Prayer 13. I've gotten really good at minimizing my needs, downplaying my pain, making my feelings sound less intense, because I don't want to be that person, the one who always has a problem, the one people roll their eyes at when they walk into the room. So I've built a version of me that seems fine, who says, "It's okay, I'm good, don't worry about me," even when I'm breaking inside. And the saddest part is, it works. People believe me. They think I'm strong, low maintenance, unbothered, but it's a lie, and it's lonely. And I hate that I've learned to lie so well. Even in prayer, even here with you, I still feel like I need to act like I'm not hurting too much, like I shouldn't bring you the whole truth, just the manageable parts. But God, if you really are the one who sees all, then you already know the parts I hide, and you still stay. So maybe today I can speak freely, even if I shake, even if I cry, even if I feel like too much, and maybe you'll love me anyway. Prayer 14. I clean up my sorrow before I speak it. I organize my pain, make it sound poetic, manageable, digestible, because I don't want to sound like I'm falling apart, even when I am. I soften my grief with disclaimers. I know others have it worse. I shouldn't feel this way. I'm probably just overreacting. And I do it because I don't want to burden anyone, not even you. I've been told, "You're so sensitive. You always need something. You make things too deep." And now those words echo in my head. Every time I think about asking for help, every time I think about opening up, even in prayer, even with you, I still feel like I need to act like I'm not hurting too much, like I shouldn't bring you the whole truth, just the manageable parts. But God, if you're really the one who sees all, then you already know the parts I hide, and you still stay. So maybe today I can speak freely, even if I shake, even if I cry, even if I feel like too much, and maybe you'll love me anyway. Prayer 15. I feel guilty just for feeling tired, just for needing rest, just for not being okay. I feel like I should apologize for being human. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I've lived so long trying to be strong, trying to be dependable, trying to be the one who doesn't break, that now, when I do break, I feel like I've failed everyone, including you. I tell myself, you've given me so much. I should be thankful. I should be joyful. I should be doing better. And maybe all of that is true, but it doesn't change the fact that right now I'm empty and I don't know how to refill myself. So I come to you with that guilt, not because I want to, but because I need to, because I'm tired of carrying it alone, tired of pretending that being tired is a sin, tired of acting like I'm less spiritual because I'm weary. God, please meet me here, in the guilt, in the exhaustion, in the space where I no longer know how to be strong. And just remind me that even this tired, is still worthy of your love.
Prayer 16. God, I don't want to take up space. That's something I learned early. Shrink yourself. Be easy. Don't ask for too much. And especially, don't show pain. It makes people uncomfortable. It makes them look away. And no one likes someone who bleeds out loud. So, I've made myself small. I've tucked my hurt into neat little boxes. I've smiled when I wanted to cry. I've said, I'm fine. So many times I've almost convinced myself I meant it. But I'm not fine. Not always. And definitely not today. And even though everything in me wants to hide that from you too, I'm trying to believe I don't have to. So here I am, unshrinking, unfolding, not loud, but honest. And hoping you're not like the rest. Hoping you won't look away. Hoping you'll let me take up space, even in my hurt. Prayer 17. I silence myself to seem strong, because strength is what people love. No one claps for the one who crumbles. No one stays for the one who needs too much. So, I've learned to smile through storms, to laugh at my own pain before anyone else can, to carry myself with dignity even when I feel like I'm dying inside, because I thought that's what made me worthy, being low maintenance, being the helper, being the strong one. But God, being strong all the time is exhausting, and pretending I'm okay has become another kind of pain. I miss being able to just be, just feel, just say, this hurts, without fearing I'll scare someone away. So I'm bringing that here, to you, to this prayer, where I don't have to earn approval, where I can be human, where silence doesn't make me stronger and honesty doesn't make me weak, where maybe, finally, I can speak. Prayer 18. I fake okay so I won't be abandoned, because I've seen what happens when you're not okay. People pull away, even the kind ones, even the ones who say they care. It's not always cruel, sometimes it's just quieted. A soft distance, a fading presence, a discomfort they can't explain. And so I learned, if I want people to stay, I need to stay okay. Or at least pretend. But I don't want to live like that anymore. Not with you. Not here. I don't want to perform wholeness in your presence. I want to collapse if I need to. Cry if I need to. Break down and still know you'll be there when I do. God, please be the one who stays, even when I'm not easy to be around, even when my sadness lingers, even when I don't bounce back quickly. Let this be the one place where I can stop faking okay and still not be left behind. Prayer 19. I've taught myself to hurt quietly, to cry in silence, to break with grace, to fall apart in the dark where no one has to see, where no one can tell me to snap out of it. Because loud pain gets punished, or worse, ignored. And I didn't want either, so I made my pain small,
invisible, polished. But it never went away. It just got deeper, colder, lonelier. And now, even with you, I feel the urge to package it, to make it palatable, to bleed neatly. But God, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be elegant in my suffering. I want to be real and raw and held. So I bring you the unfiltered ache, the messy grief, the wound I've hidden from everyone else, and I ask you, please don't turn away. Please just stay and let me hurt where you can see me. Prayer 20. I wonder if you see the tears I hide, the ones that never fall, the ones that sit heavy behind my eyes but never make it out, because I've trained myself to hold them back, to blink them away, to swallow them down. I didn't want to be seen as weak or needy or fragile, so I became skilled at quiet pain, at invisible suffering. And I wonder if that means even you don't see them, if you miss what I've buried too deep, if you're waiting for me to be honest, but I've forgotten how. But maybe you don't need me to cry for you to notice. Maybe you don't need the performance. Maybe you already know, already see, already hold the parts of me I'm still scared to show. So God, if you see them, the hidden tears, the silent ache, the quiet despair, then maybe you can heal them too. Let this be the place where I don't have to break out loud to be restored.
Prayer 21. God, I'm afraid that I'm too much, too emotional, too sensitive, too intense, too broken. I carry this fear with me like a second skin, and it makes me second guess everything I say, everything I feel, everything I ask for. Even here, in this quiet place with you, I hesitate because I worry that I overwhelm you too, that you might love me less because I'm not always peaceful, because I don't always have it together, because I bring you more tears than thanks. I try to edit myself before I pray, to shrink the ache, to sound more spiritual, to be less raw, less real. But I'm tired of cutting myself down to be lovable. So here's the unfiltered version of me, the one that feels too much, needs too much, hopes too much, hurts too much. And I ask you, could you love even this version of me? Prayer 22. I worry that I'm too broken to love, that my pain takes up too much space, that my presence drains the room. I've seen people sigh when I speak, shift away when I open up, and now I carry that memory into every moment, even into this one with you. I brace for rejection. Even when I whisper your name, I expect a sigh, a delay, a quiet sense of not again. But God, what if you don't feel that way? What if you welcome me every time, no matter how heavy I feel, no matter how loud my heart cries, no matter how many pieces I bring? What if my brokenness isn't a barrier to your love, but the very reason you reach for me? Then maybe I don't have to pretend to be light. Maybe I don't have to hide the heaviness to be held. Prayer 24. I try to stay small, so I'm not a problem, so I'm easy to handle, so no one has to rearrange their lives to make room for me. I silence my joy, so I'm not too loud. I quiet my pain, so I'm not too dramatic. I shrink my needs, so I'm not too needy. And I hide my heart, so I'm not too much. But all this shrinking, all this adjusting, all this apologizing is killing me, because I was not made to be half of myself.
I was not created to disappear. And God, I want to believe you don't ask me to do that. So I come to you, full-sized, full-hearted, and afraid. And I ask, will you still love me, even when I stop shrinking? Prayer 25. I wish I were easier to care for, quieter in pain, faster to heal, simpler to understand. I see the way others grow weary of my sorrow, the way they hesitate before asking how I am, the way they look relieved when I say I'm fine. So I've started saying I'm fine even when I'm not, because it feels kinder to lie than to be the reason someone else feels heavy. But the truth is, I don't want to be a weight. I don't want to be the cause of sighs and silence. I want to be someone people are glad to carry, not someone they feel stuck with. And I wonder, am I even lovable like this? But God, you say you are love. Not when I'm better, not when I'm quieter, but even here, even when I'm slow to heal, even when I need more than I give. So please, teach me how to receive that kind of love, not just survive it, but believe it.
Prayer 26. God, I've seen people leave when I showed my pain. It wasn't always dramatic. Sometimes it was just a slow fade, a shift in tone, a shorter reply, a canceled plan that never got rescheduled. And I learned that my pain was too loud, too much, too inconvenient to keep around. So I started hiding. I made my grief more polite, my sadness more manageable, my tears more private, because I thought that's what love needed from me, neatness. And now, even with you, I wonder if you'll pull away too, if my need will eventually wear you down, if you'll say, I love you, but I can't carry this anymore. But something in me still hopes that you're not afraid of my pain, that you don't walk away when I fall apart, that you don't flinch when I cry honestly. So I bring you this fear, this ache of abandonment, and I ask, please be the one who stays. Prayer 27. I learned early that being quiet was safer than being honest, that hiding pain was better than being left, that if I wanted people to stay, I needed to be easy, pleasant, predictable. So I kept my suffering soft, smiled while I was breaking, laughed while I bled, because I believed that love had limits, and mine were already showing. And now I come to you not knowing how to be loud about my pain, not knowing how to let myself be seen, because I think you might leave too if I become too real, too raw, too much. But if you are love, true love, then maybe you don't require perfection to stay. Maybe you don't recoil from the wreckage. Maybe you came for it. And maybe I don't have to whisper my wounds anymore. Prayer 30. I wonder if my worth depends on my silence, if I'm lovable only when I'm calm, when I'm cheerful, when I'm convenient. Because when I cried, they left. When I asked for help, they vanished. When I showed my fear, they looked away. And now I think I need to be low maintenance to be loved, invisible to be safe, unfeeling to be accepted. But you, God, you are not them. You are not scared by my truth. You are not burdened by my need. You do not leave when I'm too human. So maybe I can unlearn the lie. Maybe I can show you what I'm afraid of and trust you won't walk away. Maybe you'll sit with me in the middle of it and whisper, I'm not going anywhere. Prayer 49.
I fear that love has limits, and I've already reached mine. That there's an invisible line where care turns into tolerance, and tolerance turns into resentment. And one day I'll say the wrong thing, need one time too many, cry a little too loudly, and that will be the moment I'm too much. So I walk carefully, talk softly, pretend I'm fine, because I don't want to lose what little connection I have left. But God, you are not a friend who ghosts. You are not a human who tires. You are not a presence that fades when the weight grows heavy. You are constant, steady, still, even when I'm not. So I'm showing up, fearful, shaky, braced for rejection, but still here, still hoping that your love outlasts my limitations. Prayer 50. I flinch every time I need someone, because I've learned that asking often comes with consequences, distance, annoyance, or silence that feels like punishment. And now, even needing you feels risky. Like maybe this time you'll be disappointed. Maybe this time you'll say, I expected more from you. So I try to stay quiet. I tell myself I should know better, should be better, should do better. But I'm not right now. Right now I'm tired. Right now I'm full of questions. Right now I'm empty. So even if I flinch, even if I brace, even if I still expect rejection, I'm reaching anyway. And I hope that when I do, I'll find you still here, still open, still kind, still willing to meet me exactly where I am.
Prayer 31. God, I keep trying to prove that I don't need anyone, that I can do it all on my own, that I'm strong enough, capable enough, independent enough. Because needing others has always felt dangerous, like handing someone the sharpest parts of me and hoping they don't walk away with them. So I've learned to hold it in, to figure it out, to fix it myself. I pretend I don't feel alone. I pretend I'm proud of doing everything solo, but I'm not. I'm exhausted. And the truth is, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to carry all this by myself. I just don't know if anyone would stay if I let them see what's underneath. But maybe, with you, I don't have to perform strength. Maybe with you, I can be fragile and still be safe. Prayer 32. I force independence just to feel worthy, as if the less I need, the more I deserve love, as if self-sufficiency is the ticket to being chosen, admired, respected, safe. But deep down, it's fear that drives me. Fear that if I depend on anyone, they'll let go. That if I lean too hard, they'll step away. So I train myself not to ask, not to lean, not to feel. And now even with you, I approach like a stranger, cautious, guarded, scared to need too much, scared to say, I can't do this without you. But the truth is, I can't, and I never could. I just didn't want to admit it, because admitting it meant I was vulnerable. But maybe vulnerability isn't weakness. Maybe it's the beginning of healing. And maybe you're not waiting for me to be tough. Maybe you're just waiting for me to be real. Prayer 33. I'd rather collapse alone than ask again. That's the truth.
Because asking feels like failure, like I didn't try hard enough, didn't plan well enough, didn't become strong enough to carry myself. So I keep pushing, even when I'm at the edge, even when I know I'm not okay, because I'd rather fall silently than speak and be met with silence. And even here, even in this sacred space with you, I hesitate, because part of me believes you'll only help me if I've done everything right, if I've proven I deserve it, if I've stayed strong long enough. But what if that's not who you are? What if you don't wait for me to collapse to come running? What if you're already here, holding me up, even before I admit I need it? Then maybe I can fall, not into shame, but into mercy. Prayer 34. I crave strength more than comfort, because strength feels safer. It earns respect. It keeps people around. It doesn't scare them off the way need does. So I pretend I'm okay. I pretend I've healed. I pretend I'm untouchable, because I think that's what the world wants from me, and maybe even what you want too. But God, underneath all the pretending, I just want to be held. Not because I earned it, not because I'm strong, but because I'm yours. I don't want to perform anymore. I don't want to hide behind strength that's hollow. I want to be seen, even when I'm shaking. I want to be carried, even when I can't carry myself. So I lay it all down, the armor, the act, the illusion of invincibility. And I ask, can I still be loved like this? Prayer 35. I feel ashamed for needing support, like it's a flaw, a weakness I should have outgrown by now. I beat myself up for not being more self-sufficient, more healed, more together. But the truth is, I'm tired, and pretending otherwise isn't helping. It's only isolating me more, because no one can help a person who looks like they don't need help. And I wonder, how much healing have I delayed just trying to prove I didn't need healing? So I come to you, finally, honestly, not as someone strong, but as someone real. I need support. I need love. I need grace. And I don't want to apologize for it anymore. God, if you are truly love, then teach me how to receive it, without shame, without fear, without trying to deserve it first.
Prayer 36. God, I'm tired of acting okay. Tired of smiling when I'm breaking. Tired of saying I'm fine when I'm anything but. It's not just physical exhaustion, it's emotional, spiritual, the kind of tired that sinks into your bones and never leaves. I wear a mask because it feels safer. People love the version of me that's cheerful, productive, put together. So that's who I give them, day after day. But when I'm alone, that mask gets heavy, and I start to forget who I am without it. Even here, even in prayer, I catch myself trying to sound more hopeful than I feel, more faithful, more grateful, because I think you'll be disappointed if I'm not. But I don't have the energy to pretend anymore, so here's the truth. I'm not okay, and I need you to meet me in that. Not in the polished version, but in the real one, the broken one, the tired one, the me that barely made it here. Prayer 37.
I'm tired of managing my emotions so others don't feel uncomfortable. Tired of filtering my truth, softening my sadness, rewriting my reality to protect the people around me. I tell half stories, half prayers, half truths because I don't want to be too heavy, too intense, too real. But what about me? Who manages me? Who makes space for my mess? I want this to be that space, with you. This sacred, quiet place where I don't have to censor my grief, where I can pour out my soul, raw, unapologetic, unfiltered. I don't want to manage anymore. I want to feel, to ache, to weep, and to believe that even then, I am still loved. Prayers 38. I'm tired of smiling through pain, tired of making it all look easy, tired of being the strong one, tired of answering, "How are you?" with, "I'm good," when I'm not. I carry so much, and I carry it well, but I wish someone would notice, would ask again, would wait for the real answer, because the weight of pretending is heavier than the truth. It costs me more than anyone sees. And even now, even in prayer, I feel like I need to sound brave, like I need to protect you from the full weight of my sadness. But maybe you already know. Maybe you see behind the smile. Maybe you hear what I don't say. And if that's true, then maybe I don't have to pretend anymore. Not here, not with you, not this time. Prayer 39. I'm tired of apologizing for existing, for taking up space, for feeling deeply, for needing more than what's easy to give. I say sorry before I speak, sorry when I cry, sorry when I show up too often, sorry when I ask again and again and again. But what if I'm not a burden? What if my presence doesn't have to be justified? What if love doesn't require me to be effortless? I want to believe that. I want to believe you don't roll your eyes when you see me coming, that you don't sigh when I start to pray again, that you don't tire of hearing, "I'm hurting, please help." So I'll try to stop saying sorry just for being human and instead start whispering, "Thank you for staying, even when I'm not easy." Prayer 40. I'm tired of trying to disappear to be loved, of shrinking, softening, silencing, so I won't be rejected. I've lived my life making myself small, easy to carry, convenient to love, because I thought love was earned through quietness. But I'm suffocating under all the silence, under all the pretending, and I'm starting to forget what my voice even sounds like. God, I don't want to disappear anymore. I want to exist fully, with all my feelings, all my fears, all my failures, and still be wanted. I want to stop vanishing just to be accepted. I want to believe that the real me, the messy me, the one who cries too easily and asks too often, is not only allowed, but welcomed. Please show me that kind of love. Please be the place where I can finally stop disappearing.
Prayer 41. God, I fear that honesty will make you turn away. That if I'm too real, too raw, too messy, you'll pull back, like others have. I've watched people shut down when I've told the truth. I've seen their eyes shift, their bodies stiffen, their interest disappear. So now I expect it, even from you. I brace myself when I pray, wondering, will this be the time you look away? I try to package my emotions, dress them up nicely, make them easier to receive, because I want to be loved, but I'm terrified of being too much. So I ask, God, Can you love me when I'm not careful with my words? When I don't clean up my feelings first? When I say it all wrong? Can you stay even then? Prayer 42. I wonder if love ends when I'm difficult, when I stop being easy to be around, when my joy fades and my questions get louder. I wonder if people, and maybe even you, only stay when I'm light, when I'm funny, when I'm calm, when I'm healing. But what about the days I'm not? What about the days I spiral? The nights I cry until my chest hurts? Do you love me then? Do you still call me yours? Because I've seen love disappear when I stopped being convenient, when I needed too much, when I stayed sad for too long. And it hurt. It taught me to be quiet, to be agreeable, to be digestible. But God, I don't want to earn love anymore. I want to rest in it, especially yours. Prayer 43. I hold back to avoid disappointment. I'd rather stay silent than risk being told, no, that's too much. Or, I don't have time for this. Or worse, nothing at all. Silence can be cruel, but at least I can control it. I can pretend I chose it, that I don't mind. But the truth is, I want to be heard. I want to be chosen. I want to be held. But I'm so scared that if I say what I really feel, if I let the tears fall, if I ask for more than what's convenient, you'll leave too. So I stay quiet. But even then, the ache doesn't go away. It just gets quieter, deeper. So, God, if you're here, if you really stay, then please break through the hesitation and meet me in it. Whisper to my fear, I still want you here. Prayer 45. I'm scared that even you might think I'm too much, that you, the one who made me, might now regret it, that maybe I came out too sensitive, too complicated, too fragile, too emotional. And now you're looking at what you made and thinking, this isn't what I had in mind. I know it's not true, not really, but when you've lived a life being told you're too much, it gets inside your bones, and even God's love starts to feel conditional. So I carry that fear here, into this prayer, into this moment, hoping I'm wrong, hoping you don't sigh when you see me coming, hoping you're not tired of all my feelings, my spirals, my tears. Because I still want to believe that the God who formed me doesn't flinch when I cry, doesn't leave when I fall apart, and doesn't think I made a mistake with this one.
Prayer 46. God, I want to be held, not fixed, not rushed, not told to get over it, just held, in silence, in safety, in love. I've spent so long performing my worth, trying to be the version of me that people could handle, the cheerful one, the strong one, the grateful one. But I'm not always that. And when I'm not, I feel like I don't deserve closeness. I feel like I have to earn arms around me, earn tenderness, earn love. But deep down, I ache to be held without needing to be anything but human. I ache for someone to say, you don't have to be okay for me to stay. God, please be that someone. Please be that place where I don't have to do or say anything right to be held tight. Prayer 47.
I don't want to earn love anymore. I don't want to barter for care, to negotiate space in someone's heart, to constantly prove I'm worth holding on to. But that's what I've known. Conditional love, earned affection, approval that disappears when I'm no longer impressive. So now, even with you, I brace myself. I try to be good enough, spiritual enough, grateful enough, because I'm scared you'll leave too. But you keep whispering, "You are already mine." And that shakes me, because I've never known love like that. Love that doesn't flinch, doesn't shrink, doesn't wait for me to deserve it. So I'll try to believe you. I'll try to stop performing and just be held. Prayer 48. I long for someone to stay, even when I'm not easy, even when I'm not healing fast enough, even when I cry more than I laugh. I'm so used to people loving the version of me that smiles, that gives, that listens, that shines. But what about the me who aches, the me who needs, the me who breaks down in the middle of the night? Does anyone stay for her? God, will you? Will you stay for the one who doesn't know how to pray anymore? For the one who questions everything? For the one who feels heavy every single day? Because that's who I am today. Not joyful, not shiny, not strong. Just here, with a heart that longs, not for answers, not for rescue, but for someone who stays. Prayer 49. I hope there's space for the messy parts of me, the parts I hide from everyone else, the questions I'm scared to ask, the feelings I'm afraid to name. I want to believe you won't leave when you see it all, that you won't flinch at my shadows, that you won't close the door when I finally open up. Because I've seen what happens when I show too much. People get quiet. People back away. People say, I didn't know it was that bad. And then they disappear. So now I edit myself. I share in pieces. I test the waters before I speak. But God, I want one place, one relationship where I don't have to filter, where even the messy parts have room, where I don't have to be cleaned up before I'm cared for. Please be that place. Please hold it all. Prayer 50. I wonder if I can be wanted, even now. Even after all this, after all the mess, after all the times I've failed, after all the ways I've tried to push you away, I still want to be wanted. But I'm scared, because being wanted means being seen, fully. And what if what you see makes you walk away? I know you say you're different, that your love isn't like theirs, that you see all and stay. But it's hard to believe that sometimes. Hard to accept that I'm still chosen, still cherished, still worth holding close. So here's my fragile hope. Here's the trembling in my voice. Here's the question I can't stop asking. Can I still be loved, even now? If the answer is yes, please let it settle in me. Please let it soften the ache. Please let it stay.
Prayer 51. God, can you really want me as I am? Not as I wish I were, not as I try to be, but as I actually am today. Exhausted, unpolished, afraid to hope again. I've spent my whole life trying to be easier to love, quieter, kinder, less emotional, less messy. Because somewhere along the way, I started believing I was too much, too needy, too heavy,
too complicated. But I want to unlearn that. I want to believe I'm not a burden. I want to believe you see me and smile, not because I'm strong, but because I'm yours. So I'm asking you to teach me, gently, patiently, that I don't have to apologize for being, that I don't have to shrink to be kept, that I don't have to hide to be held. Prayer 52. Could someone still see beauty in my heaviness? Because I've learned to carry it alone, so no one else has to feel it. So no one calls me too much or tells me I'm draining. But it gets lonely, carrying what no one else sees, smiling while my soul bends under weight, whispering prayers I'm afraid even you might grow tired of hearing. But what if, just what if, there's something beautiful in my honesty, something sacred in my staying, even when I feel like a mess? What if you see my heart not as a burden, but as beloved, even when it's heavy, even when it's full of sorrow? Then maybe I don't need to keep hiding. Maybe I can let you lift some of the weight and still believe you don't resent me for needing help. Prayer 53. I want to believe I'm not too much, that I'm not a problem, not a project, not an obligation. But it's hard, because I've been made to feel like I am. Like people only stayed out of guilt or politeness or because they felt bad walking away. So now I walk into every room, every relationship, even into this prayer, wondering if I've already worn out my welcome. But God, if you're different, if your love is real, then maybe I'm not too much. Maybe I'm exactly enough, even with all my needs, even with all my fears, even with all my emotions. And maybe being loved doesn't mean taking up less space. Maybe it means being seen fully and still being wanted. Prayer 54. I want to trust that I'm not a problem to solve, that I don't need to be less emotional, less needy, less sensitive, just to be acceptable. I've spent so long thinking love means being convenient, that people stay for the easy ones, that I have to make sure I never ask for too much, never cry at the wrong time, never show up too often. But love like that always leaves, eventually. So I come to you, not easy, not perfect, not quiet, just real. And I ask, do you love even this version of me? The one that cries when no one else is crying. The one that feels deeply, speaks too honestly, hopes too loudly. If you do, then maybe I can stop editing myself and start trusting that being real doesn't make me a burden. Prayer 55. I want to rest in being loved, not tolerated, not pitied, not managed, but loved, freely, fully, without condition. I've been in spaces where I was merely accepted, barely welcomed, held at arm's length, like I was a task, a challenge, a responsibility. And after a while, that kind of love doesn't feel like love at all. It feels like a slow rejection, wrapped in politeness. But God, you say your love is different, not forced, not reluctant, not transactional. So I want to rest in that, to stop checking if I've said too much, or asked too often, or returned too broken. I want to believe that in your love, there's no too much, no countdown, no keeping score, just presence,
just welcome, just home.
Prayer 56. God, I need someone to say, "You're not too heavy for me," because I've spent my whole life worrying that I am, that my presence drains the people around me, that my needs weigh too much, that my sadness spreads like smoke and everyone around me is choking on it. So I silence myself, smile more, speak less, and pretend I'm okay, because I'm scared that if I show the weight, no one will stay to help carry it. But I truly wish, someone would look me in the eyes and say, "You're not too much. You're not a burden. I'm not tired of you." God, could you say it? Could you mean it? Could you make that truth louder than the lies I've memorized? Prayer 57. I long to hear, "You don't have to pretend with me," because pretending is exhausting. I pretend I'm okay. I pretend I'm strong. I pretend I'm fine when I'm falling apart. And I've gotten so good at pretending that I don't even know how to stop. But there's a part of me that's desperate to rest, to be raw, unfiltered, to fall apart in a place that won't collapse with me. I don't want to keep smiling through sorrow or nodding through grief. I want a place where I can just be real. So if you're listening, please tell me again. I don't have to perform. I don't have to be okay. I don't have to fake peace I don't feel. Just let me breathe here. Let me be real here. Let me come undone and still be loved. Prayer 58. I ache for someone to say, "You're still lovable," even here, even in the chaos, even when I can't get out of bed, even when I cry over things that don't make sense, even when I'm not productive, not helpful, not strong. Because that's when I feel most unlovable, when I'm no longer useful, when I'm no longer making anyone smile, when I can't explain why I feel the way I do. And that's when I need love the most. Not for what I do, but for who I am underneath the doing. So please, God, say it again. Say it slowly. Say it until I believe it. You're still lovable, even here. Prayer 59. I dream of hearing, "You don't have to earn my presence." Because I treat even you like I treat everyone else. I try to impress you, please you, make you proud, make you stay. I read more, pray more, try harder, because I'm afraid that if I don't, you'll drift away. Or worse, you'll leave. But that's not who you are, is it? You're not looking for perfection. You're not counting how many good days I've had. You're not measuring my faith before showing up. You're already here, a steady presence, a quiet comfort, even when I forget, even when I fail. So maybe I can stop trying so hard. Maybe I can just be and know you're not leaving. Prayer 60. I wish you'd whisper, "You're safe with me." Because safety is what I've always searched for. Not in big houses or locked doors, but in people, in places, in love that doesn't walk away when things get hard. But I haven't found it. Not really. And every time I start to trust, that fear creeps in again, telling me, "This won't last. You'll ruin this too. They'll leave soon." So I hold back, even from you, afraid you'll leave too. But if I could just hear it, that one sentence, "You're safe with me," I think something inside me would finally exhale, finally let go, finally believe that not all love ends in fear. So if you're saying it, even now, help me to hear it. Help me to believe it. Help me to stay long enough to feel it wrap around me like peace.
Prayer 61. God, maybe you're not keeping count. Maybe you're not tallying every time I cry, every time I mess up, every time I whisper the same desperate prayer again. Because I've been taught that love has limits, that people only give you so many chances before they grow tired, before they walk away, before they say enough. And I've projected that onto you, assuming you must be tired of me too. Tired of my spiral, tired of my sadness, tired of how slowly I heal. But maybe you don't keep records. Maybe you don't measure worth by performance. Maybe you just love. Freely, fully, again and again. Even when I come back empty-handed. Prayer 62. Maybe you're not annoyed by my return. Maybe you're not sighing in heaven every time I whisper, "It's me again." Because I always expect that sigh, that tired look, that internal eye roll, even from you. I assume that grace has an expiration date, that patience wears thin, that I've already asked too much. But here you are, still listening, still present, still near. And that confuses me because it's not what I've known. But maybe that's the point. Maybe you're not like them. Maybe you stay because you love me, not because you're obligated to, but because you want to. Prayer 63. Maybe you're not tired of holding me, because I am. I'm tired of needing, tired of falling, tired of asking again. And if I'm tired of me, then surely you must be too, right? But maybe not. Maybe you don't grow weary like I do. Maybe you don't get overwhelmed by broken people. Maybe you delight in being near, even when I bring nothing but the same old pain. And maybe every time I fall, you don't step back. You step closer, not to judge, but to carry. God, if that's who you are, please let me rest in it. Please let me stop running from the arms that never left. Prayer 64. Maybe you already knew I'd need you this much, and maybe you still chose me, not despite my weakness, but with full awareness of it. Maybe you saw every breakdown, every sleepless night, every whispered apology before I even lived it, and still said, "Yes, that one. I want that one." That kind of love terrifies me because it feels too big, too good, too unconditional. But maybe that's grace. Maybe that's who you are, a God who enters the ache and stays. So instead of asking, "Why do I need you this much?" maybe I can start saying, "Thank you, that you're still here and not going anywhere." Prayer 65. Maybe you love me through the weight, not in spite of it, not in denial of it, but through it, inside it, all the way down to the center of it. Maybe you don't flinch when I bring the heavy stuff. Maybe you don't wish I'd just get it together. Maybe you knew this journey would be long, messy, uneven, and still, you never looked for an exit. God, if that's true, then I want to stop hiding the weight from you. I want to stop pretending it's lighter than it is. I want to stop saying I'm okay when I'm clearly not. Because if you really love me through the weight, then maybe I can stop trying to carry it alone. Maybe I can finally say, "This is too much for me, but not too much for you."
Prayer 66. God, I'm not here to perform. Not today,
not anymore. I'm not here to impress you with big words or convince you I'm okay. I'm not here to pretend I'm over it or that I've figured it all out. I'm here because I'm tired, because I've tried everything else, because silence no longer saves me, and pretending no longer protects me. I don't have a polished prayer, no tidy sentence, no spiritual strength, just breath, just ache, just me, raw and reaching. And if you're still here, still listening, still loving, then maybe this is enough. Maybe I am enough, even without a performance. Prayer 67. I'm not here to impress you. I used to think I had to, that every prayer had to be strong, confident, grateful, that I had to wrap my pain in hope before I offered it to you. But I don't have the energy for that anymore. And maybe that's the point. Maybe you're not waiting for the perfect version of me. Maybe you're not disappointed when I fall short. Maybe you already knew who I was when you invited me close. So I'm letting go of the show, letting go of the filter, letting go of the pressure, and just saying, God, I need you. Not because I've done enough, but because I can't keep doing this alone. Prayer 68. I'm here because I need love, not a lecture, not a lesson, not a list of things to fix. I just need love. Simple, gentle, real. I need love that doesn't ask me to change first. Love that doesn't shrink when I fall apart. Love that doesn't leave when I ask again. I've had enough of conditional care. Enough of love that feels like a job interview, like a test I'm always failing. I need to know there's somewhere, someone, who won't walk away when I'm no longer pleasant, no longer useful, no longer strong. If you're that someone, then please, let me rest here. Let me breathe here. Let me believe that I am loved, even in this. Prayer 69. I'm here because I'm human. Not because I've done something great. Not because I've earned your attention, but simply because I exist. Because I ache. Because I break. I'm not here with perfect faith. I'm not here full of peace. I'm not here with answers. I'm here with questions, with exhaustion, with the soul that's been carrying too much for too long. And I want to believe that's enough. That being human is not a flaw. That being tired is not a sin. That being weak is not a reason to be cast aside. So God, if you're here for the human parts of me, the trembling hands, the racing thoughts, the quiet sobs at midnight, then I don't have to hide anymore. Then I'm finally home. Prayer 70. I'm here because I trust you can handle me. Even the dark parts. Even the questions I still can't say out loud. Even the mess I've made in silence. I've spent years trying to hold it together, trying to be safe for everyone else, trying to edit my presence so I wouldn't scare anyone off. But I don't want to do that with you. Not anymore. Not here. I want to bring you the version of me that's real. The one who's still healing,
still hoping, still afraid, and trust that you won't run, that you won't flinch, that you won't get tired of holding what others have dropped. Because if you can handle this, handle me, then maybe I don't have to carry myself alone anymore.
Prayer 71. What if I'm not broken, just tired? God, that question won't leave me alone, because I've spent so long believing I'm some kind of defect, an error, a problem to fix, a soul too complicated to love. But maybe I'm just tired. Not flawed, not dramatic, just tired. Tired from pretending, tired from pushing, tired from carrying more than I was ever meant to carry. And if that's true, if I'm not broken, just weary, then maybe I don't need to fix myself before I come to you. Maybe I can collapse into your presence and just say, I'm tired. And you won't turn away. You'll just say, then rest. Prayer 72. What if my emotions are valid? I've been told they're too loud, too much, too sensitive, too intense. So I learned to suppress them, to distrust them, to apologize for them even before I spoke. But you created emotions, didn't you? You felt anger and sorrow, and joy and grief. So why do I treat mine like sins? Maybe they're not proof I'm unstable. Maybe they're proof I'm alive, that I care, that I feel. So I bring them to you, all of them, the messy ones, the inconvenient ones, the overwhelming ones, and I ask, will you hold them without judgment? Will you remind me I don't need to be numb to be faithful? Prayer 73. What if my presence is not a burden? I've asked that in silence, in rooms where I felt invisible, in relationships where I tiptoed, in conversations where I kept shrinking. I've walked through life feeling like an interruption, an inconvenience, an extra weight. So I learned to make myself smaller, to enter spaces quietly, to not need too much, to not be too much. But God, what if I've been wrong? What if my presence is a gift, not a problem? What if you actually want me here? Not just tolerate me, but want me. If that's true, then maybe I can stop apologizing for existing and start showing up fully, without shame. Prayer 74. What if needing help is not a weakness? Because I've treated it like it is. I've treated every cry for help as failure, every moment of need as a flaw, every tear as a sign I'm not strong enough. But what if it's the opposite? What if asking for help is holy? What if weakness is an invitation, not a liability? What if the very thing I've been ashamed of is the very thing you lean into? Then maybe I can stop proving I've got it together. Maybe I can fall apart in your hands and trust you'll call it sacred, not shameful. Help me believe that needing others, needing you, is not the thing that makes me unworthy, but the thing that makes me human.
Prayer 75. What if I don't have to apologize for being human? For needing rest? For being overwhelmed? For crying at the wrong time? For feeling too deeply? For healing too slowly? For not knowing what to say? Because I'm tired of being sorry for existing, sorry for taking up space, sorry for not always being okay. What if none of that needs an apology? What if you don't want perfection from me, just presence? What if you don't expect strength, but surrender? What if you look at my messy heart and say, yes, even this is welcome here? Then maybe, just maybe, I can exhale, stop explaining myself, and start belonging. Right here, right now, as I am.
Prayer 76. God, I want to rest without guilt. But every time I slow down, every time I take a breath, there's a voice inside me that says, you haven't done enough. You don't deserve to stop. Keep going. Push harder. Be better. So I keep moving, keep trying, keep producing, even when my soul is running on empty. Because rest feels like failure, like laziness, like I'm wasting time I haven't earned. But you created rest. You modeled it. You called it holy. So why can't I let myself receive it? Maybe because I still think I have to earn love, earn peace, earn my place in the world. But God, I want to learn a new way, a gentler way, your way. Let me rest, not because I'm finished, but because I'm yours. Prayer 77. I want to breathe without shrinking. I've spent so long trying to take up less space, to not be an inconvenience, to make sure no one has to adjust their world for me. So even when I breathe, I do it quietly, carefully, like I need permission to simply exist. But what if I don't? What if you already made space for me? What if I was never too much, but never enough space was given? God, teach me to breathe like I belong, like I don't have to hide my existence, or shrink my joy, or soften my ache. Help me believe that I can expand, stretch out, be loud, be still, be me, and still be loved. Prayer 78. I want to ask without trembling. I still flinch when I need something, still hesitate when I speak up, still wait for the sigh, the silence, the subtle shift that says, this again? Because I've learned that asking often costs something: patience, connection, respect. So I tell myself, don't bother, figure it out, handle it alone. But then I meet you, and you say, ask. Come, return. Not once, not twice, but every time. And that kind of grace still makes me tremble, because I don't know how to receive love that never runs out. So please, help me ask without fear. Help me trust you won't roll your eyes or turn away. Help me believe you still want to hear from me, even now. Prayer 79. I want to exist without apology, to walk into a room and not apologize with my body language, to speak without wondering if my voice is too much, to need without immediately offering to shrink. Because I'm tired of saying sorry for being human, sorry for feeling, sorry for needing, sorry for having limits. God, if you created me and called it good, then maybe I don't have to apologize anymore.
maybe my softness is not a flaw. Maybe my sensitivity is not a mistake. Maybe my desire to be loved exactly as I am is holy. Let me live like that's true. Let me stand without shrinking. Let me speak without flinching. Let me exist fully, freely, unapologetically loved. Prayer 80. I want to need and still feel wanted, because I've always believed those two things couldn't live together, that the moment I need something, I become a burden, and the moment I ask, I become harder to love. So I've taught myself to be needless, or at least act like it. But inside, there's a part of me that still longs to be wanted, even when I'm asking, even when I'm messy, even when I'm unsure. And I think you know that. I think you made me that way, to crave connection, to long for belonging. So I'm done pretending I'm self-sufficient. I'm done performing strength to be accepted. I need, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore, because needing isn't a flaw. It's an invitation. And God, if you're still here, still listening, still holding me, then maybe I'm not just needed, I'm wanted too.
Prayer 81. God, I surrender the shame of being human, the shame of feeling deeply, of needing help, of not always being okay, of struggling longer than I thought I would. I've carried that shame like a second skin, worn it like protection, believed it would make me stronger or at least more acceptable. But it hasn't. It's only made me smaller, quieter, lonelier. So I'm giving it to you now, all of it. The shame that says I should be over this. The shame that says I'm weak. The shame that says I'm not worthy of being loved unless I'm perfect. I don't want to live under that weight anymore. I want to live in grace, even when I'm not healed, even when I'm still learning, even when I'm still human. Prayer 82. I surrender the belief that I must be easy to love, that I have to be calm, quiet, low maintenance, that I have to hold myself together all the time so no one feels burdened by me. Because that belief has broken me, made me hide my hurt, mute my joy, silence my soul, just to keep others comfortable. I've done it for so long, I started to believe I was only lovable if I caused no disruption, no need, no ripple. But you never asked for that version of me. You never demanded that I be convenient. So I surrender that lie and all the pain it brought. And I ask, will you love me even when I'm messy? Even when I take up space? Because that's the love I need now. The love I've always needed. Prayer 83. I surrender the lie that I'm too much. I've heard it in their silence, felt it in their distance, seen it in their eyes when I cried one time too many, or stayed sad too long. So I started editing myself, withholding truth, hiding hurt, swallowing emotions. But it didn't make me easier to love. It just made me feel invisible. God, I don't want to hide anymore. I don't want to keep asking for permission to exist. So I give you that shame, that belief that I'm too complicated, too sensitive, too emotional, too hard. And I ask you to hold it, replace it, heal it. Help me believe I'm not too much. I'm just deeply made. Prayer 84. I surrender the habit of silence,
The way I bite my tongue, swallow my needs, smile through tears, and say, "I'm fine," when I'm not. It started as survival, a way to keep peace, a way to stay connected. But silence has cost me more than I realized. It's cost me intimacy, authenticity, peace of mind, and connection, even with you. Because I brought that silence into prayer too. I told you half-truths, polished versions, safe words. But I don't want to do that anymore. I want to speak honestly, even when my voice shakes, even when my words aren't pretty. So I surrender the silence, and I trust that you can handle my full truth, even when I've been afraid to say it out loud. Prayer 85. I surrender to being loved fully, as I am, not as I plan to be, not as I wish I were, not after I've healed or fixed or grown, but right now, with my unfinished grief, my messy heart, my lingering doubt, my hidden ache, because I've spent too long thinking I needed to be better first, that love was something I'd finally receive after I changed. But I'm done running from myself, done waiting to be worthy, done hiding behind progress. So I surrender to the love you're offering now, the love that meets me in my lowest, the love that stays, the love that says, I choose you even now. Help me receive it, not with fear, but with open hands. And finally, rest.
Prayer 86. God, I let you see the parts I hide, the thoughts I'm ashamed of, the stories I never tell, the pain I've buried too deep to name. For so long, I believed I had to protect you from the worst of me, that I could only bring what was presentable, that you wouldn't want to see what's beneath. But I'm realizing now, you already see it. You already know it. And still, you're here. So I won't cover it up this time. I won't decorate my pain or rehearse my healing. I will simply come as I am and trust that the parts I hide are the ones you hold with the most tenderness. Prayer 87. I let you hold the pain I minimized, the grief I said was no big deal, the heartbreak I brushed off, the tears I laughed through so no one would think I was weak. I told myself it didn't matter, that others had it worse, that I was being dramatic, and I believed that for a while, until the weight became too much to carry quietly. So I bring it to you now, all of it. The pain I never let anyone validate, the wounds I told myself didn't need tending. Because maybe you take seriously what I've learned to downplay. Maybe you care about the hurt I dismissed. Maybe you're not measuring pain by comparison, but by compassion. So here it is. God, please hold it gently. Please show me it mattered to you all along. Prayer 88. I let you touch what I called ugly, the anger I suppressed, the bitterness I tried to pray away, the jealousy I pretended I didn't feel, the guilt that haunted me long after the mistake. These are the parts I never knew how to bring into prayer, the parts I thought disqualified me from grace. But you don't look away. You don't recoil. You don't shame. You touch the parts I flinch at and call them redeemable, reachable, lovable. So I place them in your hands, trembling, afraid, but hopeful, that you won't fix me just to make me prettier,
but love me even here, even now, even before the healing begins. Prayer 90. I let you love me even when I can't love myself, even when I roll my eyes at my reflection, even when I speak to myself with cruelty, even when I rehearse every flaw and failure before I fall asleep, because self-hatred runs deep. And sometimes I confuse it for humility, but it's not. It's pain turned inward. It's shame in disguise. And you never asked me to stay in shame. You never called me worthless. You never demanded I earn compassion. So, I choose to stop fighting you here. I choose to let you love the parts I reject, to let you stay close when I feel most undeserving. And maybe, if I let you love me long enough, I'll learn how to do it too. Prayer 90. I let you stay, even when I feel unworthy, because that's the hardest part. Not believing you exist, not even believing you're good, but believing you want to stay with me right here, in this mess, in this moment, when I have nothing to offer. I'm used to people loving my light, not my shadows. Celebrating my strength, not my breakdowns. But you say, I will never leave you. Not when you're strong, not when you're failing, not when you're lost. So I'm choosing to believe you, choosing to open the door, choosing to let you in, not into the polished version of me, but into the room where I keep the things I hope no one ever sees. Stay with me there, and I will believe that love like yours is real.
Prayer 91. You are not too much for me. That's what I hear you whisper. Not in anger, not in frustration, but in kindness. Like a parent kneeling down to a child who's afraid they've been too loud again. I flinch when I cry, apologize when I ask, pull back when I feel deeply. Because somewhere along the way, I started believing that being too much meant being left behind. But you stay. You don't step back when I weep. You don't recoil when I feel deeply. You draw closer. And your voice, soft, certain, says, you are not too much. You never were. You never will be. Prayer 92. You are not too broken for my grace. That's what you speak into my shame. Not with judgment, but with compassion. I thought I had to be better first, that grace was reserved for people who were already halfway healed, already halfway holy. But you don't wait for me to clean up. You walk straight into the mess, into the rooms I keep locked, the memories I still regret, the pain I tried to forget. And you say, even here, I choose you. Even now, you are mine. My grace isn't for the perfect. It's for the broken. And that means it's for you. Prayer 93. You are not a burden to my heart. God, those words undo me. Because I've spent my life feeling like a burden, trying not to be too much, trying to carry it all myself, so I wouldn't weigh anyone down. But you look at me, and there is no sigh, no eye roll, no subtle pulling away. There is only welcome, only arms open wide, only steady love that says, my heart is big enough for your ache. My presence is strong enough for your tears. You are not heavy to me. You are home. Prayer 94. You don't have to earn my nearness, not with good behavior, not with perfect prayers, not with spiritual performance. You don't have to say it right. You don't have to clean it up. You don't have to smile when you're broken. I don't come close because you're worthy. I come close because you're hurting, because you called, because you're mine. My nearness isn't a reward. It's a promise. I'm not waiting at the finish line. I'm walking beside you in every step, every breakdown, every return. Just reach out, and I'll remind you, I never left. Prayer 95. You are loved, exactly as you are. Not one day, not someday, not after you heal, not after you grow, not after you fix all the things you hate about yourself. Now, today, in this moment, as you sit in silence, wrestling with questions, holding shame in one hand and hope in the other. Even here, especially here, you are loved. Not for what you do, not for what you give, not for how well you hide your pain, but for one reason only, because you are mine, and I don't change my mind.
Prayer 96. I am not an inconvenience to you. God, I've believed for so long that I was, that I took up too much space, asked too many questions, needed too much reassurance, that I was a problem you had to manage, a project you had to fix, an interruption you tolerated. But you've never made me feel like I was in the way, even when I repeated myself, even when I came back again and again with the same ache. You welcomed me, not as an obligation, but as a child, longed for, loved, known. So I rest here now, not in perfection, but in permission to exist fully, without guilt, without apology, without fear of being too much, because you've made it clear I was never in the way. I was always home. Prayer 97. I am not exhausting to heaven. I used to think you got tired of me, that my tears were too frequent, my prayers too repetitive, my heart too fragile, that surely you would grow weary, like others had. But you've stayed, patient, gentle, never rolling your eyes, never saying again. You've shown me that heaven doesn't grow tired of hearing my voice, that my name is not a nuisance, but a joy. So I stop bracing, stop flinching, stop assuming you're frustrated with me, and instead, I begin to breathe in the freedom that I am always welcome, that I never wear out your grace, and that maybe heaven leans in every time I speak. Prayer 98. I am not too needy for your arms, because for so long I tried to be self-sufficient, tried to prove I could carry it all, that I didn't need to be held, didn't need to be comforted, didn't need anyone. But the truth is, I do. I need to be held, to be known, to be loved when I'm soft and tired and aching. And you've never asked me to harden to be holy. You've never asked me to earn affection. You've never turned away when I reached for you. So today, I lean in, without shame, without pretending, and I let you hold what I no longer can, because I've learned that needing you is not a failure. It's the beginning of freedom. Prayer 99. I am not less than for needing love.
In a world that praises independence and punishes emotion, I've been made to feel weak for needing tenderness, for craving connection, for longing to be loved without having to earn it. But you've rewritten that script, not by demanding less, but by giving more. You never asked me to stop needing. You simply met every need with kindness, with presence, with open arms. So I stop hiding my longing, stop apologizing for the part of me that wants to be chosen, seen, held. Because needing love isn't weakness, it's sacred, it's holy, it's human, and in you, it's safe. Prayer 100. I am yours, and you're not leaving. Those words, they undo me, because I've always waited for the moment you'd walk away, the moment you'd grow tired, the moment you'd change your mind. But you haven't. Not once. Not even when I doubted. Not even when I ran. Not even when I didn't believe I was worth loving. You stayed. You whispered, you held, you waited. And now I believe you. Not just that you exist, not just that you're good, but that you choose me every day, every time, without condition, without hesitation. I am yours, fully, freely, forever. And for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, I can rest in that, without guilt, without fear, without running. I can simply be loved and stay.